My name is Laursen. I hold a Canada Research Chair at Dalhousie University, where I have been since 2006. I have previously worked in various European countries. In recent years, my research has focused on the EU treaties and the changes in the treaties, starting with the Maastricht Treaty in the early 90s and the successive treaties up till the Lisbon Treaty, which is now in force. So that has been a very important part of my work, and I've been teaching about that. At Dalhousie, I also teach a course on EU as a global actor, which is basically looking at external economic relations and the common foreign security policy of the EU, where of course there is a dimension between where we look at relations between the EU and Canada. I have in the past also taught general courses on EU politics and EU policies and policy making. So I have I believe a reasonably good comprehension of some of the major policies: common agricultural policy, competition policy, and here now I've been talking about social policy. It's a very complicated area. Some of the other policies are a little easier to study because they may be more clearly outlined in the treaties, and the policies may be more clear. In the case of social policy, the European Court of Justice has been very much involved, so you need to really also look at a number of court judgments to understand what it is about. Apart from being now at Dalhousie, occasionally I'm invited to teach at other places in the world. This summer I was teaching in Macedonia for 2 weeks, training officials about the EU, how it works, how it makes decisions, and about the major policy, especially of relevance for the Western Balkan areas. And a couple of years ago, similarly, I was invited to Taiwan, where I was teaching Taiwanese officials about the EU. They have for long been interested in the EU and thinking of whether the EU can be of importance for the cross-strait relations with China and so on. So these are assignments on the side that I like very much to get, because it's teaching and you have time to prepare it and think a bit about what your audience may be interested in. One of the things that has been very good about the job at Dalhousie is that I have also directed an EU Center of Excellence, which is a center that gets some funding from the European Commission. And this has allowed me to organize an annual conference, 5 of them so far. There's a 6th one that will come next spring. And this has allowed me to invite scholars from Canada, from Europe and other parts of the world to discuss some important issues in European integration. We had one on the EU in comparative perspective a couple of years ago, where we compared both with federal systems and other regional integration schemes like NAFTA and Mercosur and so on. The following year was on the Lisbon Treaty, and the one this year was on transatlantic relations. So, and on the basis of these conferences, I've been editing a number of books. That has been a very interesting part of my work at Dalhousie.